Good day, everyone. My name is MicheleDClark, and I'm your favorite small town girl with big time dreams who God has definitely shown his grace and his mercy, and he has saved me from some life threatening things, and I'm so glad he did. Today is just an absolute wonderful winning Wednesday. Oh, it is a terrific Tuesday. And you know what, you all? This has just been such a phenomenal day. Terrific Tuesday. Let me tell you why I forgot today was Tuesday. So I have here a wonderful winning Wednesday, right? So I'm thinking it's Wednesday. So I actually have win in 10 minutes or less. And I'm just realizing right now today is Tuesday. And it actually goes right along with my topic today. It feeds right into it. So let's do this really quickly. I wonder if I can make a quick switch here, you guys. Give me 2.5 seconds here. Not sure if I can, but if we cannot, it is okay. I know some people are like, what is going on? It's supposed to be Tuesday Talks. Guess what? That is okay because you know what? Progress over perfection. So, you all, today, let's see if we can do this here. Don't think we can. So, we're just going to keep it moving, you all. And so, let's do this right here. You know what? This is what we're going to do. This is what MicheleDClark can do. So, hold on one second. Bada boom, bada bing. This is all it takes. Let's go. Boom. There we go. All right, y'all. See, there's more than one way, and I won't say to skin a cat because I know that sometimes we have Dr. Kroom who comes on and she's a veterinarian and she's like, oh my God, don't skinny cats. So all right, you all. So fun fact, you all, for I see some eyeballs popping on right now, and I actually have the banner up for a wonderful, thinking today is Wednesday, you all. So it's a terrific Tuesday, and today is our Tuesday Toss with Miss Clark, LMSW, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So guess what? We have a wonderful segment today, you all. And I'm glad, I'm so glad that this goes right along with my storyline today. So, what I have for us today outlined, and we'll get to that in 2.5 seconds. I want to make sure that we do have our customs, not rules, but our household customs. So, I want to make sure we have those customs in place. And what's the custom? The custom is to make sure that if you would like to have a proper shout out, then to make sure to put your name where you're watching from in the chat. And when I say where you're watching from, I don't mean like LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube. What I really mean is your city, your state, your province, your country, your continent, your county, wherever you like to put in there. But make sure you put that over in the chat. In addition to that, we also have another custom up. So if you are a first-time watcher, then welcome to the show. This is our Tuesday Toss with Miss Clark, LMSW, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you are a repeat supporter, then welcome back. Welcome back to the show, you all. All right. So another part of our customs is to make sure that you stay hydrated. So we take a break for station identification for our hydration. And what do we have right here? Wonderful bottle of water. So if it's your first time, you might have to go run and grab something to hydrate yourself. And if this is not your first time, if you are a repeat supporter, then guess what? You probably already have your water locked and loaded. So let's get ready. 1, 2, 3, go team. That is super and fantastic. So you all, Tuesday Talks with Miss Clark on MSW, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let's see here. I think I want to put here. So at some point, we're going to have, like towards the middle end of the show, we will have our rapid fire AMA. We get a chance to ask me anything. So no, AMA does not stand for American Music Awards. It does not stand for Against Medical Advice. It is Ask Miss Clark Anything. So get a chance to get your burning questions, your burning desires answered, any kind of questions that you may have so you can live and inspire free and transform. Guess what? Make sure you have those questions ready, locked, and loaded, and ready to go. So then that way, when we get to that segment, you can ask them in the comment section. So you all right, for today. So I'm trying some new things, you all. I'm trying some new things. They have some features in the back here that I'm like, oh, let me try those out. So let's see if I can find that, and let's get that banner going here. So let's see. There we go. All right, you all. So today what we have is, hold on one second. That is, let's change that, you guys. Hold on. It is Who's Transformed. Here we go. On the go. All right, you all. So let's get that going. And actually, let's do it like this because I want that to scroll. All right, Who's Transformed? Let's see. Boom. There we go. All right, you all. So Who's Transformed? So that is what we're going to talk about today. Our Tuesday Talks with Miss Clark, LMSW, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome to the show. And make sure you put your name over in the chat if you'd like to have a proper shout out, right? All right, so I see some. Oh, look at that. See that y'all tried to get, listen, you all tried to get me hemmed up at the beginning of the show when I almost said more than one way to skin a cat. She would have been like, no, Michelle, no cat skinning. So she says, hey, drinking water over in, yeah, in Kazoo, Kalamazoo, over in the zoo, right? Dr. Kroon, welcome to the show. And I know you all might, I don't know if you noticed or not, but I also have, do you see the colors? You see the color scheme there? So yes, so we are trying out some new features here, you all. So absolutely. All right, so let's go back to our Tuesday talks, right? All right, you all. So for this Tuesday talk, you all, it's who's transformed. Who's transformed? Now, when I thought about this, actually, me and some of my business partners, Dr. Crum actually was part of that conversation, and we were talking about how things change, how people change, and how we're not the same person that we were back in the day, right? There's been some transformations happening. So when I say who's transformed, it's like, who are you now? Who are you then? And who are we going to become? So I want to tell you guys a little bit about my story, right? So we talk about who's transformed. I want to talk a little bit about my story. And so I know at the top, I always say, that my name is MicheleDClark, and I'm just your favorite small town girl, big time dreams, who God has definitely shown his grace and his mercy. And he saved me from some life-threatening things. Now, when I talk about the small town, I'm talking about Harvey, Illinois. So I'm from Harvey, Illinois. Most folks don't even know what that is. It's near the south side of Chicago. But even if you don't know where Harvey is, you definitely know how Chicago got its nickname Chirac. So as I was growing up, y'all, Harvey wasn't like that initially, and it turned into the little version of Chicago because they emptied out some of the projects, Cabrini Greens and some other projects, Robert Townsend Homes, all those, they emptied those out into our community. Now, when I was growing up in a small town, Harvey, I think it was only like maybe about 32,000 people in that town. And our police officers could not really handle that kind of a change. They couldn't handle that. And so, yes, it became criminogenic very fast, as in we used to stay out at night, run all throughout, the street lights would come on. That's fine. Just as long as you're on the block, we were all outside running through between the buildings, playing, hide and seek, whatever at night. Fun. Yeah, all that was cut out. All of that changed, so that was a transition. So it transformed. Our town transformed right before our eyes. We're now no longer were you on your block and on the stoop when the street lights came on. You were in the house. That part. So in addition to that, let me tell you guys a little story. Well, let me give you a little background first of all before I go into my story. So when I talk about how I grew up and where I grew up and what was going on back then, I had choices to make. So I could have been a dope dealer, but instead I became a hope dealer. Right? I became a hope dealer with my companies with an S. Yes, I know I talk about Lift Nation a lot, but I have Lift Life Coaching Solutions, I have Lift Life Counseling Solutions, and I also have Lift Nation. Yes, all three, right? So Lift Life Coaching Solutions, Mindset Management Coach, that's to help professional women to manage their mindset so that way they can live inspired, free, and transform, right? Lift Life Counseling Solutions, as you all know, I'm a licensed mental health therapist, and that's why the LMSW. And so with that, yes, I still practice. I practice in my community, and I also practice on a virtual platform where I'm able to counsel people from all over the world. Love it. Lift Nation birthed that because I saw the need for women, for us to have something to call our own, a platform where we lift each other up and help each other spiritually, financially, health-wise, right? Physically, financially, emotionally, spiritually, be there for each other. A sisterhood, a authentic sisterhood. Now, if you haven't already joined the free platform that we have on Facebook, we have Lift Nation, a private group. If you are female and you are professional, then you know what, and you're positive, go ahead, ask for invitation right now. If you don't know how to do that, go ahead and DM me, MicheleDClark. You see MicheleDClark up there. I'm on most social media, the major ones, platforms, and just DM me and say, hey, listen, I want to know more about that. Now, each and every Saturday, we also talk about joining our Synergy community. And if you'd like to know more about that, info@MicheleDClark.com. You can go there. Pull that up real quick. info@MicheleDClark.com, or of course you can hit me on the social media platforms. So I go through all of that to say that's who I am now, right? The transform, that's who I am now, right? That's what people know me to be right now. So who was I before? Who was MicheleDClark before all this transform? Who was she? Let me tell you a little story about who she was. Now, my mom talks about, hey, what's going on? Mr. Taylor's in the house. What's going on, sir? Welcome to the show. So, who I was beforehand. So, growing up, I was one of those. Okay, my mom tells a story about when I was 6 years old. She talks about how I had put a sign on my desk, right? I put a sign on my desk and I was telling everybody in the classroom, all the other 6-year-olds, that, if you want to sharpen your pencil and get advice, I don't remember if it was 5 or 10 cents, whatever it was, to come to my desk, sharpen your pencil, get some advice. Now, I don't know what kind of advice I was getting. I sure don't know what kind of problems 6-year-olds were having. But my teacher called my mom and said, hey, listen, it was a joke, right? She wasn't calling her saying I was in trouble, but she was just saying that, hey, listen, we have a pencil sharpener in the classroom. Yet everybody's lining up in front of her desk, wanting to sharpen their pencil with this small little pencil I have and getting advice. She thought it was hilarious. So all the way back then, I already knew that I liked to help people. I already knew that I loved people. Now let's go further. So I ended up meeting someone. I was 14 years old. I thought I was invincible. Thought I could, how you are when you're 14 years old, teenager. You feel like you can, rule the world. Feel like nothing can ever happen to you. Feel like you are safe and sound, and you that deal, that bag of chips, with dip and all that kind of stuff, right? Until I ran into a 19-year-old. And when I ran into that 19-year-old, not only did I lose my virginity to him, and not in a way that was voluntary, but I also lost my self-identity, because I always thought that I would be able to walk down the aisleway wearing white. For those of y'all who old school knows what that means. Yes. And that was no longer the case for me. That's how I felt. I felt dirty, disgusting, just tainted, just like something be used up and tossed to the side. And because that's how I felt about myself, that's the way I began to treat myself. And as we all know, is how we treat ourselves. That's how we teach others how to treat us. When they meet us, is how we treat ourselves. And so people started treating me the same way. I allowed that to happen because I didn't feel that I deserved any better. It's like taking the crumbs, the scraps, not even that was on the table, but the ones that fall on the floor when somebody gets it from the table, and they had crumbs on their laps and it falls down on the floor. Yeah, those. That's who I was. That self-talk, those nets, negative automatic thoughts that we talked about all the way back when we did our grade at 8, Mindset Matters. If you didn't catch those, hashtag replay is for real. Check it out. Go to YouTube. If you watch me on Facebook, LinkedIn, that's cool. But if you go to YouTube, first of all, subscribe, click the little bell so then that way you'll be able to know when we drop new content. But that's the easier way because I have things categorized, right? So you can just go ahead and pull up the playlist, is what it's called. But yeah. So now I'm just meandering through life, not knowing who I am, not knowing whose I am, feeling I'm just this throwaway, feeling I'm this trash receptacle that people throw trash in, right? Get that as a visual aid. But that's who I felt I was. That's how I treated myself. So at some point, y'all, I had to, before I even go into what I had to do to transform, before I even go into that, y'all, I want to talk about how in those moments, what made me think of that is today, as a part of my continuing education credits, right? We get CEUs, credit continuing education units. And with those, we have to do certain types of trainings. And so I did a training, and it was about suicide prevention, if you will, suicidality, and those types of things, statistics, the whole nine. Well, you know what? I was one of those statistics. Obviously, I'm sitting before you, so you know I didn't successfully commit suicide. I actually never even tried. Boy, did I think about it a lot. I thought about killing myself a lot because I didn't feel as if I was worth living. I wasn't worth taking up the oxygen from somebody else who really did deserve to be here. That's how I felt about myself. I would cry myself to sleep at night and pray that God would not wake me up in the morning. I had conversations with God, asking him, why? Why did I go through that? And that wasn't the only time, y'all. You see, when you hang around undesirable things happen to you. And so I aligned myself with those types of characters. And more than not, I had involuntary things happen to me. I submitted to it. And that just created the downward spiral even more. So I went from this bright-eyed, bushy-tailed 6-year-old who was giving advice to people, helping them. Whatever advice I was giving to 6-year-olds who were having problems at the age of 6, wanting advice, sharpen their pencils. That girl, that entrepreneur, that person wanted to help others. I transformed from that into the one that became the trash receptacle. So I transformed. I transformed into an undesirable. That's how I felt about me. I was that undesirable. And I allowed people to use me up. I felt like a doorknob. Who's going to get their turn next? And I cried myself to sleep, praying that God wouldn't wake me up. I wondered, what if I took pills? How many would it take? What if I just walked out into the street? I mean, all kinds of things. And I'm going to tell you what, when you have those types of negative automatic thoughts, they come with friends, y'all. They don't come by themselves. Oh no, they bring their friends with them. And so, yes, I started to have those thoughts. And then I started hearing the voices saying, do it. Go in front of the car now. While I'm in a moving car, just jump out now. Those were the things that was plaguing me, y'all. But because of my backing, thank God, the parents that I had that told me that I was lovable. Thank God for the parents that I had, who I was raised with the foundation, knowing who my source is. For me, that's God. I don't know who that is for you. But I was able to tap back into that. I was able to understand that there has to be another way. There's got to be something bigger and better for me. This isn't God's plan for me. This isn't my destiny. This isn't who I was destined to become. Not that little girl who had the sign on her desk who was helping other people, who was giving advice to other people, helping them to transform. That ain't me. So I had to put in the work, y'all. I had to do something different. And yes, I got the counseling. I went to therapy, y'all. I got the counseling. I did the work. I had to take control of those negative automatic thoughts, those gnats that were plaguing me. Now, I don't know if some of y'all saw my post today. It's the transparency for me. Let me be real transparent for y'all. When somebody experiences a trauma, it doesn't just go away. It doesn't just disappear. You can't delete that part of your brain. You can't stop the negative automatic thoughts from happening. But what we can control is how long we sit in them. So when something triggers someone who has been through a tragedy or trauma, like myself, When something triggers us, sometimes flooding happens. Sometimes you start getting those visual images to come back into your mind. Sometimes those negative automatic thoughts that was plaguing you back then, fast forward and come back right now. The feelings you start to feel the things all over again. That's real. That's me being transparent with y'all on this Tuesday talk. So that's why I can now turn around and be that beacon of light for somebody else. Let me tell y'all, it took me, I told y'all 14 years old, it took me almost 25 years, y'all. Almost 25 years to transform from that. Getting in bad relationships, serial bad relationships, sabotaging the good ones and hanging on to the bad ones. Because of the way I felt about myself. Finding myself in situations that I shouldn't even find myself in, because that's not who I am or whose I was and whose I am. But I was doing that, y'all. 25 years it took me. It took me the day that I had to yell out to my 6-year-old daughter to save my life, to call 911. It was that day, that moment that I realized no more. It wasn't even for me. It was because I didn't want her to grow up thinking that that's how a relationship is supposed to be. I didn't want her growing up thinking that that's how life is supposed to be. I didn't want her grow up thinking that's how her life is supposed to be, because I'm her role model. I'm mama. I'm the one she looks up to. In that moment, I was like, this is it. This is it. Now, there were moments before that where I felt like, okay, I got this. I got to stop this. I got to put this away. Okay, I got to stop this. And then even in that relationship, even with her eyeballing, watching, son too. But it was in that moment, that was a defining moment for me. I don't know what your defining moment is for you. I don't know what that is. And I'm not saying you've experienced what I've experienced. Everybody's different. But everybody has their own trials and tribulations. Everybody has their own tragedies. Everybody has their own trauma. Everybody has something that has tracked them from the past that may still be trying to creep up on them today. I don't know what that is for you. But whatever it is, that's why I'm that beacon of light. That's why I started Lift Life Coaching Solutions. That's why I started Lift Life Counseling Solutions. And that's why I started Lift Nation. So that way we can help you. I can help you. I'm that beacon of light. If you have any questions right now, we can go into our rapid fire AMA. So if you have any questions right now, we can go into our rapid fire AMA. Let me put that up here. Where's that? We have that banner, y'all. Let's see. Here we go. So rapid fire AMA, that's Ask Ms. Clark Anything. So go ahead. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them over in the chat. And in the meantime, between time, you all, I'm so happy and grateful that I'm here today. I'm so happy and grateful that I didn't take my own life. I heard something once on the radio, and that is, don't make a permanent decision or take permanent actions off of a temporary problem, temporary challenge, something that's transient in nature. I'm so glad I didn't take that permanent, because there's no coming back. That's it. It's a wrap. So that's who I was. That's who I transformed into. And that's who I was. And this is who I transformed into. MicheleDClark, the mindset management coach for professional women with Lift Nation, where we do empower professional women to live inspired, free, and transformed. Transformed, you all. And yes, I know the snap makes it sound like, you do the hokey pokey, turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Boom, transform, and that's it. No, there's hard work that goes along with it. But this is the decision. The snap is the decision, you all. That's the moment, that's the defining moment where we make the decision that we are going to turn our backs on who we were, meaning change. Change. I read something once. It was recently, and it said that, and this may sound a little weird how I'm utilizing it, but it says that Snakes only shed their skin to become better snakes, bigger snakes, excuse me. So when we do that, transform. What are we shedding in order to become something bigger? Are we going to be the same? Are we going to be the same? Or are we going to transform into something different? But in that moment, we get to make that choice, y'all. We get to make the choice. We get to figure out who we're transforming into. So I want to leave that to you. I want to leave that thought with you all. Who are you transforming into? Who's transformed? Are you transformed? And if you are, what did you transform from? And what did you transform to? That, you all, is our Tuesday Talks with Ms. Clark, LMSW, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I thank you for watching. Now, if you're saying to yourself, you know what, Michele, I'm a professional woman. I want to be a part of a community. I want to be a part of a sisterhood where we are lifting each other up, not backbiting or backstabbing, but actually lifting each other up, not just hoping each other win, but helping each other win. So guess what? This Saturday, actually, I want to put that in. Let's see. Can we put that in okay. So this Saturday, we're going to have Lift Nation Freedom at 1. So it's this Saturday, February 25th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's in the Zoom room. Yes, we're going to have a mini mindset training. We're going to talk about how Lift Nation is going to go to work for you, the professional female, the professional woman. And then we're going to have a networking opportunity. We're going to break bread and get to learn about each other, get to know each other. Who are you? What do you do? Whose are you? What are some of the things you like to do? We're going to talk about that. We're going to break bread. And I'd love to see you in the Zoom room. Cameras on. So yes, how can you be a part of that? So right here, all you need to do is go to bit.ly/Lift Nation Freedom at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, y'all. Yep, that's all you have to do. Register there. It's FREE. It's free for you to register. Yes. And so it's Zoom, and we love to have the cams on, if possible, please. So that way we can really break bread, because it enriches the experience when we have the cameras on. So I hope that you found value today. I see some comments coming in. What's the new comment? You know what? That's okay. That is Miss Fuchina chiming in from Duluth, Georgia. Hey, Miss Fuchina. No, it's not too late. Guess what? You are right on time. So guess what? You're right on time to hear that we're going to be meeting again tomorrow. But for tomorrow, what we're going to have for tomorrow, we are going to have our win in 10 minutes or less. Fundamental Moments, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you get a chance to hear that, as well as I'll meet you guys this Saturday in the Zoom room, right? You're going to meet you this Saturday in the Zoom room for our Lift Nation Freedom at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And all you have to do to register is go to bit.ly/ there it is, bit.ly/Lift Nation Freedom at 1. That's it. Bit.ly Lift Nation Freedom at 1. And you could be in the Zoom room. So, all right, you all. Thank you so much for tuning in to our Tuesday Talks with Ms. Clark, LMSW, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm super duper excited that you took time to spend with me today. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow for a win in 10 minutes or less, fundamental moments, and this Saturday, Lift Nation Freedom at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the Zoom room. And again, that's for ladies only. Sorry, guys. That's for the professional ladies only. So if you do have any questions or comments, please make sure to hit me up at info@MicheleDClark.com. Let's see if we can get that up there. There we go. You can hit me up at info@MicheleDClark.com. And of course, you can hit me up on all social media platforms, the major ones. I mostly reside on LinkedIn and Facebook. But in the meantime, and in between time, you all, I love you to life just because you are. You are who you are. My name is MicheleDClark, and I am the Mindset Management Coach for professional women with Lift Nation, where we empower you, the professional woman, to live inspired, free, and transform. Take care. God bless. See you tomorrow for our win in 10 minutes or less. Fundamental moments. God bless.